Open up to 1 Kings chapter 18. Talk about praying for rain. Well, that's the title. Probably won't get a lot of hits. But well, I looked on some of those atheistic websites because I was looking for this story in November 2007. Georgia and all the South was suffering a drought. It's been suffering a drought for years and years. I think they had like 20 months without rain. So the governor, Sonny Perdue, along with a bunch of lawmakers and some ministers and stuff, they had like a prayer meeting on the state capitol, the stairs of the state capitol. They had like a choir and stuff, sang some songs, and then he prayed for rain. And I tell you, when I looked up on the internet, I see some of them, a lot of them were him, and then the other ones were like atheists and all these people like, well, these guys can't pray for rain. He shouldn't be mixing the state stuff with the, religious stuff and all this other stuff. And, it was kind of wild. But he prayed for rain, and I believe it rained. I couldn't find where it rained though. All the stories cut short. They went to like him praying for rain. But I'm sure, because it was just last year, November, that the whole thing said that it actually started raining afterwards. I believe it did. I couldn't find the story where that connected it together, and I didn't want to. Well, I did say it anyways, but I like to confirm things. I said it anyways, but I'm pretty positive because I remember listening to it on the radio, where at first they were kind of mocking him, and then it actually rained afterwards. So he declared this days of prayer for rain. He just prayed humbly, asking for the blessing that God would hold them steady in times of difficulty. He just prayed a real simple prayer. And I believe God answered. I couldn't find it, but, I'm sure that I can remember the news saying that it actually rained afterwards. So God answered his prayer. But, the Atlanta Free Thought Society, they opposed the prayer rain, saying that the governor can pray what he wants to. What he can't do is lead prayer in the name of the people, for the name of the people of Georgia. That's what they said. You can't lead people in prayer if you're the leader, which doesn't make any sense. If you're the leader and there's a reason to pray, you should be able to pray. But I was thinking this on the way up here about the Free Thought Society. They're real free on their thinking, but they're not free on their convictions. They know they have strong convictions about what they believe, but they don't really believe in anything. They're kind of like free. You're free from convictions. If a person with convictions, they oppose them. If you believe something, well, we're against you because we're for free thinking, which isn't. It's not free. We're free from absolutes. Whatever else anything wants is true, but if you have strong convictions on who God is and what word is His word, they're against you. I was thinking that on the way up here. It says here, one of the news things, he stepped up to the podium outside the Capitol Tuesday and led a solemn crowd of several hundred people in prayer for rain in the drought-stricken state. He just said, we come together here simply for one reason only, to very reverently and respectfully pray up a storm. That's all he said. Just a little saying it, not big long speech or whatever. And I believe God, I'd have to find it, but I believe God answered his prayer. That was part of the thing, that they got their rain. So first, to tie that into 1 Kings chapter 18, I don't know if you're there, but it's talking about Elisha and his prayer for rain. And I'll start in verse 1. It says, a long time, I don't know if you guys understand. Elijah. Thank you for my help. I get those two mixed up. But Elijah, the land wasn't good. It was King Ahab was in charge, and him and his wife were running the country, and they were doing all kinds of stuff. They were attacking the church, or the church of that day, the temple. They were attacking the prophets and the priests, and they put them in jail, persecuting them, and they hired their own priests and prophets to run their own religion, the prophets of Baal, which Baal, it just means like their local gods. the local gods of the Sumerians that lived there before they took over. So they'd hired them out. It was kind of a power thing, because a lot of times in religion it's about power. And Ahab did that. He got whooped in a battle, I think. He got whooped, and then so he said, well, you know what? My God, obviously I don't have any power. He didn't have any faith in his God. So he went and took that other man's God and built a little temple for him, kind of like what they do in the India and stuff. That, like, I want to add him to my God, my shelf of gods, so I'll have some more power, because he whooped me. And that's what it was all about. It was about power. They were about control and power. So he had led the children of Israel into idolatry. They'd separated. This has been going on for 50 years. Jeroboam did it 50 years earlier when, what's his name there? Not Rehoboam. Solomon's son decided he was going to tax them heavily. They came and said, what are you going to do? Your father had a big tax plan, He taxed us a lot. You're going to lower our taxes or raise it? It's kind of strange how things never change, huh? and he came, and instead of conferring with he conferred with the older people, and they said, well, you better give them a tax break. These people, if you give them a tax break, they'll love you. But then he conferred with his friends who were all looking to get state jobs, and big cabinet positions, and he said, what do you think I should do? He said, well, I'm going to be putting in for a raise here, so you better raise taxes. We're going to need more money. So then he went out to the people after 3 days, and he told them, I'm going to raise your taxes. You think my dad's taxed you guys? I'm going to tax you even more. So they just succeeded. They said, well, forget it, we're out here. And the 10 tribes just left. And Jeroboam went with them as their leader. And he knowing that because of the religion, they would have to go back every year to Israel to worship. So he thought, well, they're going to be going back and forth every year. I'm going to lose these people. I got to create something so they don't have to go to Jerusalem every year. I have to create another religion so they can, they'll follow me. So he put up a statue of the calf in Dan, in the city of Dan, and they became idolatrous to them. So that's where Samaria was. They were into idolatry. For 50 years they've been descending into idolatry. And Elijah was there. And he was there to do something. He was there to do something for God, to confront this. God had had enough. Ahab and Elijah and his wife Jezebel had been doing all kinds of evil stuff. They killed, I can't think of the guy's name. But they killed Nabal, that's his name. They killed him. They killed a bunch of people. They tried to kill all the prophets, but as you see, one of the Obadiah, he hid that. So it says here, verse 1, it says, a long time had passed, and God's word came to Elijah. The drought was now in its 3rd year. Elijah had confessed a drought. He went to the king and said, you know what? There's going to be a drought in the land. No rain will fall except by my word. He shut up the heavens. And he took off. It was a pretty powerful thing to do. I mean, think about it. If you could do that, that power, that faith, that confidence in God, that, you know what, God, you gave me something to do, and I'm going to shut down the heavens. When God told him, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a crisis. We don't have that nowadays. Nowadays, all these crises, we always look for man. Katrina, all these droughts. We have a lot of droughts in this land. We're probably in a drought or water shortening. They'll probably say it this winter, this time. But we never call on God. We never look to God. So Elijah took off, and he went to the brook, but that's a whole other story. But now he's leaving the brook. The brook had dried up. It's been 3 years since it's rained. And the message he got from God was, go, present yourself to Ahab. I'm about to make it rain on the country. So Elijah set out to present himself to Ahab. Now the drought in Samaria at the time was most severe. I mean, it was really bad. I mean, just think about it. It hadn't rained in 3.5 years. And they don't even get rain like we get. They only get it during a certain season. There's a rainy season. I mean, so it was pretty bad.